Hello Aquarius, Aquarius Rising, and Aquarius Moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card horoscope for the week starting July 3rd, 2017. And a quick reminder for everyone out there, the Tarot Home Study course is now available for download and purchase at my website, integrativemysticism.com. Thank you so much to everyone who's been so patient and so kind and encouraging over this last weekend. We had an internet outage at my apartment complex and it made it really difficult to get everything all going, and there was 1,000,001 things going on, and it was just kind of like, you know, just kind of trying to get so much through one door, so to speak. So, but everyone's been really nice and really kind, and, you know, I really do appreciate that. That means a lot. So what is going on with your astrology this week? Well, this week, on Tuesday, we've got an interesting angle. Everyone's got it. We've got Mercury finishing up its trip through your 6th house of work, reputation, and your physical health, but not before it forms a tense square to Uranus, currently in your 3rd house of communications, pacts, and promises. And this can be a very interesting angle you've got to be careful with, because sometimes we can get peer pressure and acting out from this energy, and a lot of this seems to be coming from either a collaborator, a partner that you work with, or a peer or a colleague, and there seems to be something trying to rile a situation up either at the office or with an existing contract or an agreement that you are a part of. And usually when we see Mercury square Uranus, it's leave well enough alone. Oh my god. Because when we have these two planets come together, you know, they're both geniuses, they're both very intelligent, but when they clash, it's confusing, it doesn't make any sense, they arrive at all the wrong conclusions. Don't let anyone actually turn you into their mouthpiece this week, and don't let anyone peer pressure you into compromising your morals, or, for that matter, betray anyone else you may actually be working with. There's something going on in a clash of ethics with your reputation and your contracts, pacts, and promises, and we don't need to be backing out or doing anything for somebody else's sake, much less to make any problems there. On Friday, however, we've got some great stuff going on. We've got Mercury out of Cancer and in Leo, your 7th house of committed partnerships, forming a gorgeous sextile to Venus in Gemini, in your 5th house of love and romance. And it looks like a quick developing opportunity to deepen an existing love, or to actually, kind of go down the rabbit hole and see what's happening with a new love. This could be something that actually comes very, very quickly, whether it's just a fancy new person or a brand new conversation that gets really, really deep and connective with somebody who you barely know, that could turn into something very special, or quite possibly a reinvigorating of an existing love that you have with a partner, whether it's a deep conversation or some discourse that we miss, or just an opportunity to share and catch up and check in with each other that actually turns into something quite hot. So what's going on with your cards this week then? Well, for your spiritual advice when it comes to the moral of the story of the week, we have the Life Bringer. This card talks about needing to nurture things in your life as though everything did have a life of its own, even that which is not, say, a person or an animal or a plant. You know, when we talk about letting things take on a life of their own and grow in their own way organically, it means knowing how to nurture something as it evolves. When you think of a writer doesn't have 100% of everything planned out when they're writing. Their characters will tell them what they are going to do if those characters are well established and well written. And that's kind of what's going on. You know, you kind of adapt your story so that something flows organically from the circumstances as you've written the story. You may have an outline, but there's a lot that happens in between those talking points. And when it comes to the Life Bringer, let's think about that in terms of everything. Whether it's our job, our relationship with our kids, our relationship with our partner, our friends, our relatives, these things all do take on lives of their own. And sometimes the best thing we can do is actually encourage them to take on the life they are, as opposed to try and make them look like they need to be something. Because sometimes we get outside pressures that say, this is supposed to look like this, and this is the standard, and this is the pressure, and this is whatever. And another sign I had to give the whole speech to, I won't give you the whole speech, but these days there's a lot of pressure over personhood going on. Lifestyles and values over personhood. Let's forget about that. That'll all go away after Jupiter goes into Scorpio anyway. That's good. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we have the Seven of Wands reversed. Again, don't try and fight battles that don't need to be fought. Seems to be some unnecessary conflict going on when it comes to a financial agreement, or possibly even just some office politics that, again, we don't need to get our noses in. The Seven of Wands reversed can often indicate that somebody may be trying to beat a dead horse, or possibly, again, trying to recruit you to fight a battle you don't need to and possibly don't even have to fight. The Seven of Wands reversed can often show up here as a need to pay attention to where we don't want to look too aggressive and give off that energy this week. Usually when I see this card, it can show that also favor is going to be given to people who don't look like they're trying too hard. Alright, sometimes it looks good to look a little bit hungry and ambitious. Not with the Seven of Wands reversed. They want cool cucumbers. They don't want thirsty. Okay? When it comes to your communications with air, when it comes to friends, relatives, and the others in your life, we do have the Sun card upright. A chance opportunity to actually start bonding and getting closer to a friend that we may have been drifting from actually will present itself to you. And what's interesting is that sometimes with the Sun card upright, we do see a friend really stepping it up for us. Whether it's stepping it up for us, you know, in terms of defending us, stepping it up for us when it comes to helping us get, you know, our to-do list taken care of, or just plain old being there when it feels like we don't really have many people who have our backs. The Sun card upright can also show up as a bit of good news actually coming to your social circle in a way that everyone actually does get to share it. Whether this is good news in terms of, you know, a big recreational opportunity or a big creative project, or some kind of breakthrough that you all knew you were going to be a team on one day, well, that opportunity may be coming up this week. For your challenge this week with fire, we do have the Eight of Pentacles upright. The Eight of Pentacles is a challenge. It's not actually the worst challenge you could have in the world. In fact, it's not really even that bad a challenge. The Eight of Pentacles, though, is paying attention. Your challenge is paying attention to where we need to start updating a few things, and pay attention to where, you know, there may be literal equipment or just skill sets that need to be updated to meet a certain demand, wherever in your life. You know, simply with the Eight of Pentacles upright as a challenge, it can show up where we may find out that there could be some things that, that aren't really going to be cutting the mustard anymore. Whether this is, you know, possibly something as literal as computer equipment, or possibly even people that we actually work with. Updating skill sets in our team, updating skill sets in our work group or our school group. It's actually a very important thing to check in on every once in a while. Sometimes the Eight of Pentacles, however, as a challenge can also indicate a need to pay attention to where we may be obsessing over details a bit too much, and, you know, kind of focusing a little bit in too much of an administrative capacity in places in life where we don't need to be an administrator, such as a relationship or, you know, when we are off the clock. And this week we want to make sure that we can kind of leave everything where it is situation appropriate. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Temperance card upright. This card is actually fairly sweet because it does indicate an opportunity to blend and still have it all when it comes to love and romance. And again, I see a fusion going on either between you and a crush or you and a partner where we may have kept things separate before. Usually with the Temperance card, we see an opportunity to have things that don't seem compatible or don't seem like they're going to mesh or fit actually become a better fit than we thought. Whether it's how we're meshing our social circles, we're finally blending and connecting and meeting each other's friends and relatives, or actually being more inclusive with activities that, you know, we normally reserved for ourselves. The Temperance card upright can also be good news for those of you who've been maybe feeling a bit of a rift or a bit of a conflict with somebody that you care about in this way, because this can be a card of patching up. So that is your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it, Aquarius. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.